Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Well? Good. Pleasure to be here in this wonderful library. People this afternoon, are you enjoying the charity week? Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Do this once every year. I suppose not as many events running as last year as I remember. It was still pretty good. Thank you all for coming, by the way. Thank you hugely for coming. It's hugely flattering that this many people should want to see me this afternoon. It's hugely flattering on my part. I'm also very much aware that there's a cake sale on right now in A-Block which hoping to come and hear me over delicious cake, and that is, again, immensely flattering on my part. We can't fit this many people.
Why did you say look at him? Now they're all like, right?
Yeah, so more have arrived. Right, fine. Good. I thought you haven't missed much, welcome and all that. Good. I thought I'd talk to you this afternoon about kind of those weird moments in life when people seem to abandon all logic or abandon all rationality and hey, all things are set up that show no common sense. A good example is I was on a train with my dad a couple of years ago and we'd reserved a couple of seats. We'd learned from previous experience that it's not too pleasant to be stood up for 3 hours. We have so little space to yourself that if you so much as lick your lips, you give a stranger a tongue kiss on the face. So, we'd reserved a couple of seats. So we've reserved a couple of seats. We get to our seats and there are these two women sitting in our seats. So we do the norm and tell them politely to move. Now the normal thing to do would be to move. No. This woman places her hand over the reserve sign, something like this, and goes, "No, these aren't your seats. Your seats must be in the next carriage somewhere. These seats aren't reserved at all." Presumably in the hope of playing some kind of Jedi mind trick. I can't do Yoda, I sincerely apologise. It almost comes out somewhere between the Cookie Monster and the Queen, and it's something I don't make sense. You seem to get a lot of this weird behaviour on public transport. I was on another train with my dad, again a few years ago. The driver comes on the announcement system and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, the onboard shop will now temporarily close due to a change of staff. Please don't panic." It would appear there is a distressed pigeon somewhere in the world. Please bear the distressed pigeon no heed, he will be fine, or she. The driver comes on the announcement that the onboard shop will temporarily close. Please don't panic, as if there would be some little old woman, like 3 carriages down the train, who would hear the onboard shop will now temporarily close and go, "Quick! The overpriced Scottish shortbread! I must get it before it's gone forever!" My all-time favourite of these was I was at Blackpool railway station, which isn't particularly professionally run at the best of times. This was not its finest hour. A woman comes on the announcement system over the platforms and goes, "Due to heavy rain today, please take..." That was the end of the announcement. You know, it was quite good fun. Me and my dad spent the next 20, might have even been 30 minutes guessing what the hell it was you were supposed to take. I'll throw it over to the audience. Any suggestions? I'll tell you some more. I'll tell you some of the ones we came up with. I guess it started off fairly normal, then got increasingly weird as we ran out of ideas. So it started off with things like an umbrella, waders, a small boat, and ended up being caramel tea, a dead horse, a crate of bananas, drugs. It's... I give the railways an awful lot of sticks for this though. In fact, it isn't just the railways. I give the railways an awful lot of sticks for this though. In fact, it isn't just the railways. You get weird stuff set up or weird stuff happen all over the place. Like, here's a good example. Who thought it was a good idea to replace people who work at checkouts with robots that do not work at checkouts? You know the drill. Every time you go up to the barely functioning android, please place the item in the bagging area. There is an unexpected item in the bagging area. It can't be unexpected if you told me to put it there. That's the way expectation works. Right? I don't know about you, but folks at the checkouts, for me at least, are increasingly like, a friend inviting you round to their house saying, oh, the toilet's broken. If you need the loo, just kind of do it in the garden. You doing it, and then going, Derek! Why have you done a poo on the floor? You get it all over the place as well, this kind of weird abandonment of any logical common sense. You get it online. Online is practically an encyclopedia for stuff that doesn't make sense or doesn't work properly. I remember we were showing a history documentary on YouTube, and it was on Joseph Stalin's industrialization policy of Russia. And the subtitles that had been put on the video hadn't been put on by the person who'd uploaded the video, they'd been put on by YouTube's linguatronic system, which doesn't work. It tries to recognise what's being said and write the subtitles. There were dozens of subtitle malfunctions, but I'll just cite my two favourites for you. Came to the part where the person speaking on the documentary said, Stalin wanted to create an industrially localised society. You know what the subtitle said? Stalin wanted to create an iPhone society. Oh yes, very advanced old Stalin, basing his whole society around a phone that did not yet exist. It was very ingenious of it. My all-time favourite of the subtitle malfunctions was voiceovers reads a quote from Stalin, which was, Stalin wanted to turn Russia into a country of socialist brotherhood. Subtitles say, Stalin wanted to turn Russia into a country of baked goods. I can't tell you how much that image delights me. Just an entire Kremlin built out of drenched into men. It's a wonderful thing. By the way, I no way exclude myself from this in terms of doing weird and stupid things that I do it all the time. The perfect example is I was in Berlin a couple of years ago in Germany for a week on a history trip which some of you either may have been on at the time or gone on since. What happened was I came down for breakfast one morning in the hostels and I saw what appeared to be on the breakfast buffet, a bottle of apple juice. The bottle was a kind of weird pointy shape, but I thought, well, we're in a foreign country, things will be packaged differently, right? So I poured myself a glass of it and took a sip. It was vinegar. Yeah. And let me tell you, it makes me sound idiotic, which I am, but it makes me sound slightly less idiotic when I tell you there were 3 items on that breakfast buffet: Belgian waffles, cereal and toast. Which of those would you conceivably serve with vinegar, right? Which one? Mainly addressing this to people in the 6th form or year 11 now, but if any of you who work in a hotel restaurant or a cafe or something of that sort, someone comes in of a morning and orders a bowl of cereal, and then as you go away to get them their order, they go, oh sorry, does that come with vinegar? Report them to the Ministry of Defence, because they are not of this planet. That is not how Earthlings behave, if I may use the term. It's not just my conscious mind that does weird and stupid things. My dreams are equally with in a student who've been frequently completely messed up. Like, this is the most bizarre dreams I did have. Come when I'm stressed. I genuinely, 2 years ago, revising for a GCSE exam, GCSE geography exam, I genuinely fell asleep during my revision and had a nightmare I was being attacked by a map. I have not exaggerated that for comedic effect. I dreamed a map of Cambridgeshire had taken human embodiments and wished to kill me. Right? Bizarre. I had weird vision nightmares. I've had them more recently than that. In the build of in the first lot of A-level exams, not first A-level mocks, right? In January of this year, I had a nightmare while revising for one of the exams. There was a parrot sitting on my exam desk that did nothing for the duration of the exam other than to tell me I would fail that exam. And what was particularly disturbing about the parrot, that's not a sentence you hear very often, what was particularly disturbing about the parrot was not only was I the only person who acknowledged the parrot, but I was the only person who was aware of the existence of the parrot. Only I could see the parrot and the parrot would not leave. He was a persistent parrot. As I say, my weirdest dream tend to come out when I'm stressed. That's when they manifest themselves. People ask me if I find doing this stressful, but the truth is not so much now because I've been doing it for a little while. There are disadvantages to doing it. I don't get many opportunities to do it in Cumbria, which is why thank you so much for going along this afternoon. But then travelling to other parts of the country to do stuff and it can travelling to other parts of the country. Spoiled the board. Travelling to all parts of the country to do stand-up can generate its own material, though. I was in Loughborough in a hotel, right? I went into the ensuite bathroom in the hotel room, and there was a little note on the back of the door about towel usage, and the opening sentence of the note was really strange and bizarre in its own right. I'm not kidding you, I'm not exaggerating this for comic effect. The opening sentence of the note, in phrasing and tone, was this. Every day, thousands of towels are washed in hotels all over the world, many unnecessarily. You know, that's like the start of a WWF wildlife advert. It's so melodramatic and over-emotive in tone. You expect the rest of that note to go, but you can do something to help these poor innocent creatures. Just £3 a month can protect these majestic beasts, towels, from being washed. Unnecessary washing can damage a towel's natural markings, shorten its lifespan, and mentally traumatise it for life. So please, text towel now to 63103. So towels and energy habitat. On a little side note to that piece of material, by the way, I would genuinely like you all to text towel to 63103 because, as many of you will know, that is the genuine phone number of a local radio station. And I would love it, just love it, if with no context or explanation at all, they got 50 texts that just said towel. With no explanation on it. You know, you might even do a radio feature on it. I do really, really enjoy the way you're doing this. So like I say, thank you for your one of the joys of doing this is that people who know you do it will come up to you after shows and tell you amusing stories in the hope that you'll encompass them in future routines. I had a guy in Edinburgh tell me that a few of his mates were drunk one night, messing around on the main streets in Edinburgh, right? And they were being antisocial, really, like throwing beer cans around, shouting abuse and all that kind of stuff. Eventually, 3 policemen come up to them and say, right lads, you're breaching the peace. We're going to have to take your names and give you formal cautions. The first one looks at the police officer, looks across the street and goes, right, I'm Mark Spencer. Goes to the next one, looks at the police officer, looks across the street. I'm Austin Fryer. He goes to the third guy, three group of friends. He panics, looks across the street and goes, well, I suppose that makes me Ann Summers. He goes back to doing the material on the kind of things that don't make sense and to show no logical concept at all. All right, you get a lot of it when people are drunk, and that's kind of a wealthy source of material for that. And I have increasing experience of it as I'm turning 18. I remember I was in Edinburgh again, at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, right? Walking down one of the main streets in Edinburgh, and I stopped a drunk bloke to ask him the time. Didn't realise he was drunk until he opened his mouth, right? And he gave the best answer I've ever heard to a question where the recipients of that question did not know the answer. I asked him, "What's the time?" And he replied, "A means by which two or more events are divided in a given period of existence." That is not an answer to the question, "What's the time?" What he's done there is defined the phrase, "the time," right? He's defined the concept of time, it's not the same. I had another drunk guy come up to me at a pub in Edinburgh, same Edinburgh Fringe Festival, right, having a meal with my dad in the pub. Drunk guy comes up to us, asks us where the toilets are. So I tell him, they're through the door on the right and down the stairs. Not only does he walk past the door on the right out of the pub, but he then turns left. I can only imagine him, weeing on the pavement, wandering into the charity shops and going, "Where's the no beer? Who are you?" There we go. I've got a couple more things to say. This routine is a bit shorter than I expected, and I apologise for that in advance. But a couple more things to tell you in terms of the sources of people's abandonment of logic and common sense. I have a couple of friends who are like this, one of which I'm aware is in the audience. So I will treat this delicately. A couple of friends of mine imply lack of knowledge and common sense all the time. One of them genuinely wants to ask me the question as to whether the man who walked on the tightrope between the twin towers did it before or after the plane hit them. I'll move on to that. I'll move on to that, but let's be honest, it would have been less impressive if he walked across a pile of rubble. Anyway. My own friend, who seems to abandon all knowledge you may have on a regular basis, right? We were once explaining to him how mad cow disease is caused essentially by idiots feeding beef to cows. That's essentially my understanding of how it works. Right? And we explained this to him, and he said, "Well, then what are we doing giving cows milk? They'll go mad." Right? So we had to explain to him, no, milk and beef are different substances. They come from different parts of the cow. It's why you don't hear people saying the phrase, "Oh, I'll have a milk sandwich, please, sir. I'll go nicely for my lunch and I'll come home and have a slice of roast milk for my tea, perhaps. Or I'll drink a glass of beef before I go to bed." I'm pretty much coming to the end. And I apologise for the routine to run a bit short, but I've got through the material quicker than I expected to. One of the great sources for kind of lunacy and saying things that doesn't make sense is my dad, right? And I'll tell you 3 stories about him, and then I'll stop. Right? I went to the Edinburgh Fringe with him, right? Actually, I'll tell you another story. I went to surprise and zombies with him last year at the new cinema in Carlisle, right? And after the film, we were talking about the film, right? And he said the words, and I quote, "Well, obviously, in the original film, I should imagine they used real people." To which I said, "Well, yes, just as they did in the zombie remake. I'm not entirely sure if you're aware of this, Dad, but there weren't real zombies. They didn't go, right, we're making a zombie film. How can we get some of the undead to volunteer? I know, we'll send one of the local producers down the local area, and he can do the thriller dance. That'll work. Get them out of the graves." He has a bizarre sense of priority to my dad as well, which is like, I'll give you a perfect example of this. He has a really bizarre sense of priority. When we were staying at the Edinburgh Fringe, we left in a bit of a rush, right? And he forgot to pack his mobile phone. Normal. But he did remember to pack the free complimentary biscuits from the hotel trestle table. What's the logic there? Forget the phone. The phone's gone. I can have other phones, but those biscuits. They're premium bourbons. I made them some biscuits into superb bourbons the texture again. I must have them. And I explained the illogical nature of this to him, and his defence of it was, well, biscuits are more important than my phone because I can eat them. I said, is that how if you judge if something's important? You know, I just imagine him in a meeting with a financial advisor. These documents are very important, sir.
Oh, can I eat them then?
To a friend at work, oh, my mobile phone is very important to me. It's my main lifeline out of the house.
Oh, can I eat it then?
Are your friends important to you, sir?
No, I can't eat them. They give me indigestion.
My old one, out of my dad's like examples of weirdness and lunacy and so forth, and saying stuff that doesn't make sense. And I'll leave you on this one. Like I say, apologies. The routines are a bit short, but I haven't got through the material quick now. My favourite was I was on a bus with him when we were on holiday, right? And apropos of Doctor, and not relevant to the conversation in any way, shape, or form, he pointed out the window at a random building and went, "Ooh, that looks like a nice prison." I thought, how do you know, right? Are there people leaving reviews or comments on prisons on TripAdvisor? Is that how that works? I thoroughly enjoyed my stay at Wandsworth Prison. The beds were clean and surprisingly comfortable. The staff were hospitable and would even show me to my room at nights. There was lots to do, like playing table tennis with my guests. My 6-year stay flew by in no time. I would only warn future guests to watch out for Brian in the showers. I got to pick up the phone and Brian would ask you to do it.
He said in prison, it was all very nice, we had to watch out for Brian in the showers.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you have been a truly, truly wonderful audience. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes,